When it comes to starting a business with your drone or even a side hustle, it takes more than just understanding your drone to get there. I'm going to share with you today what I've learned so far in the 3 months or so of me going on this startup journey of becoming a drone filmmaker and a photographer, what the process looks like, and some things to look for. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new around here, welcome to the channel. My name's Denim. I share content around my DJI Mini 2 projects that I'm working on, as well as tips and tutorials on how to get the best from your drone. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and let's get into today's video. So here's what I assumed when I first got my drone, was that I would get the skill that I need to fly my drone around, learn all these different moves, and I would get heaps of clients knocking at my door. Becoming a drone pilot is one thing, but then creating a business out of it or creating income out of it is a completely different story. Here are the things that I've learned with starting my drone business and side hustle. Making money from your drone and having a commercial right to do so is so important. So the first thing for me to do was I had to go learn what the drone laws were and the regulations were around flying my drone for a commercial reason or to make an income from it. So understanding drone laws and regulations, I live here in Melbourne, Australia, and trying to do my best to be as knowledgeable around the subject as possible. If you do want to fly your drone for a commercial reason, like making money from it and having clients, you will need an accreditation from your Civil Aviation Securities Authority in your country. Now, here in Australia, that's called CASA or CASA. And basically the laws in Australia are that you must have an accreditation against your name, which is a short course that you've got to do online. It's completely free. Once you do your study, you will then go through an exam, and this is again completely online, and once you pass that exam, you'll be awarded an accreditation. Now, I got my accreditation about 2 or 3 months ago, as you know, that was the most logical and the first step I had to pass, because I don't want to be breaking any laws. You know, whether I agree with the drone regulations that are in place, if I want to fly commercially and I want to be legitimate as a side hustle or a business with clients that have, you know, real life businesses, I don't want to mess around with that. So I went and got the accreditation. Now, this is not a pilot's license, I'll be really clear about that. And I think if you're going to be flying commercially, at least here in Australia, you should definitely go and get yourself accredited. Once I was accredited, the next thing I had to do was actually register my drone in the Civil Aviation's registry. And again, it's a free process to do this, and I highly recommend you doing this, because if you are flying commercially, you want your drone registered, you know, it doesn't cost anything to do this. You will need your drone serial number and a Civil Aviation Securities Authority in your local county or your country. You'll need to have an account with them so you can actually go and register your drone. So I've done this now, and my DJI Mini 2 is registered to my name, and you know, has some basic details like the address and things like that. The other thing that I'm considering doing, and this is completely optional, is getting public liability insurance. Some of the reasons why you may want to do this versus you might not want to is obviously there's a cost involved with public liability, and it kind of covers you for things that may go wrong in the field. Let's say your drone falls out of the sky, you know, falls on your client's front yard and catches on fire. Yeah, that's probably a really dramatic scene that I've painted there, but at the end of the day, drones are machines, and things can go mechanically wrong or, you know, stop functioning the way they were supposed to. So I'm still considering this step on if I go down this path, because I do have a lot of trust in the DJI brand. However, I've still got to protect myself. So getting some kind of insurance to cover myself as well as my service and my drone is something that I'm thinking long and hard about. The other thing that I suggest you do is understand which category of drone that you fly in. So if you are someone that flies in the excluded category like myself, which is a 250 gram drone or below, then you don't need any kind of license. You don't need anything apart from that accreditation. But if you do fly above that 250 gram weight class, and this could be a DJI Mini 2, and you put a landing gear on it, this automatically moves that drone into the higher weight class. Now you're not in the excluded category, because the drone weighs a lot more than what it originally did or what it was designed to weigh at. What I would suggest you doing is, if you're flying commercially and you want to do it in the excluded category, try not to use any landing gears or anything fancy in terms of equipment. Use the drone and maybe an ND filter and nothing else. The second key point I've got for you is trust. How do you get your clients that you're reaching out to or that are finding you online through your Instagram? This is a big kind of roadblock to getting work, but also getting your name out there. A lot of the bigger kind of videography and filmmaking companies out there, they're going to have a lot more trust than freelancers like you and I will. So the next thing that I needed to work on was building trust with clients, and this can come in many different forms. It may come from a portfolio that you need to develop and have that available for clients to look at and interact with. That's probably the most basic way of getting someone's trust, is showcasing your work. It's the easiest way. It doesn't cost you anything to do in a lot of instances, unless you want to start a website or something like that. But apart from that, what I would suggest you doing is finding a place that you can actually create a portfolio, whether that's on social media, on a website that you create yourself. Whatever the case, I suggest you creating a portfolio wherever that is, and have that accessible and easily viewable to anyone that wants to find you and look at your work. The third thing you should know is a little bit of a hard one to understand at the beginning, but get used to being rejected. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen more often than not. And unfortunately, this is just a road that we have to take if you're passionate about getting to where you want to be and creating a business or an income from your drone. When it comes to real world application of a drone, only the people that actually fly a drone and understand how a drone works and the perspectives that it offers truly place value on what it can create and do for not only businesses, but the service that it can offer for people out there. But unfortunately, a large majority of people out there don't see it that way. And until you put the time into the market or the niche that you're focused in on, it's just not going to come that easily at the beginning. And this is definitely something that I've had to get accustomed to and just roll with it. And maybe at the beginning, if you are getting more no's than yeses, or you're not getting any yeses at all to clients' work, you may have to look at working for free and just getting some work in the niche market that you're targeting again up on your portfolio, so that potential clients that you're targeting down the track to actually create income from can see that you've got some kind of track record doing exactly what you're saying that you're going to do. The fourth thing that you should know and you should be prepared for is understanding the ins and outs of your drone. Different conditions and where you fly impacts the video and photo quality that you're capturing. It's all good and well to be a drone pilot, but then you've got to understand how lighting impacts video. So knowing how your drone operates is really important. Knowing how to use it is also really important, but knowing when to use what shots in what conditions to suit the type of video that you're trying to capture comes with a lot of practice, a lot of time. We need to respect the art of actually capturing video and photo from your drone before you can actually make money from it. And it's not just about flying your drone around, capturing video and then selling it, because that's not going to get you very far. Make sure you develop a little system for yourself to follow. I have some resources that are linked in the description that may help with planning your video out. Check them out if you're interested. The fifth thing you should know is that you need to put the time in. You need to put the time in to go through all those things that I've just talked about in this video, to dedicate not only time to fly and get your skills with your drone up to the point where it's you're able to create professional looking video and photos, but you need to put the time into the target market that you're going after, and you've got to come up with a reason why the things that you're going to create from your drone, whether it be for video or photos, are going to be an asset to your customers and your clients. And this will make it a lot easier to really focus in on a group of clients that you want to try and get. At the end of the day, you're just going to have to put the work in. This is something that I'm learning day by day. The amount of work that's needed to actually do this is not something that I was ever prepared for. Now, I don't want to be discouraging, and I hope that you didn't take any of those things as a discouraging word. All I'm trying to give you is a real perspective of the type of work that goes into trying to create an income from your drone. It's not as simple as what people make it out to be. However, it's not out of the realms of possibility. So you should definitely explore this. Ask yourself if you're getting into it for the right reasons, and then dedicate yourself to put the work in. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to like as always to let me know this is the type of content you enjoy watching. Leave any questions for me in the comment section below. And YouTube's got 2 videos that's suggesting you should check out. I'll see you in one of them.